Hello guys, and welcome to a mini-series tutorial of ICARUS. So, let's get started. So first of all you see, ignore this guy, this is my guy. So first of all you see character. So you create a character. There's not much really in here. To be fair, there's not quite a lot. You can change the heads, you can change scars, facial hair. Well, only one facial hair. You can put some tattoos on, sure, why not? Bit of eye colour, bit of purple, sure. Let's go with orange guy. Let's make him look like Donald Trump, sure. And change the logo on the hats. That's not so bad. I do think there is flags coming out. I'm not sure if they're going to be incorporated into this or not. I'm not sure. You could change the head style, the cap, and well, you can have one ear, one to left, one to right, no ears, both. Me personally, I go to one to right, but that's for me. You can change the cap colour, there's only two options at the moment. And you type in your name. For this, I'm just going to type tutorial. Confirm character. And this screen is basically where you can start up a game. You can choose to load a game. This is my world. It's a normal difficulty rewards, open world. It tells you all the modifiers and difficulty and everything you need to know. You can join there, you can delete prospect. There's no reward, no time restriction. These are my other two characters that got deleted somehow. Still not been able to understand what happened with them two, but they did. You have ability to join servers if you feel like joining the server. And this is the one that we're going to be going on. So the loadout, basically, once you go into the workshop you can buy certain items with your currency. The higher you go, the more kind of currency you're going to need. For example, exotics, you can mine them in the main world. With the red exotics, you get them from missions, and the same with a legendary biomass. And this is a biolab. Once you go through the main map missions, then you get these little blue tokens, legendary license, which you can unlock these. So you get one each main mission that you do. But you can also buy them for 15,000 Ren. I unlocked this weapon, and it's pretty awesome. So first of all, it depends on what kind of thing you want to do. If you just want to do missions, basically you just drop into this one. Outposts, similar type of thing. Open world is what I choose. Basically because you can choose any map you want, and you can build to your art's content and do whatever you want. See, some of these maps don't have red exotics. Prometheus does, but it is a lot harder, as you can see. But there's no missions on these, apart from the missions that are actually in the game. Whereas when you go onto here, it shows that there's 656 that I've completed, mission-wise, but there's no simple missions on the missions screen and no operations. The outposts tab, basically, you gotta defend the outposts. Not really gone into this too much, as you can tell, because you have to start on the first one to get going. But I will be getting into it at some point. So, we're gonna be jumping into Olympus. We'll create a new world. We'll just call it normal for right now. And we'll just call it tutorial. There we go. So we do have some from before, but I'm basically just going to start off as it is. And here you get to choose which drop point you'd like. The green is the easiest, and orange is harder, and I think there is a red, but not on this map, which is the hardest. I'm on here right now. Just for this one, I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to drop in. And I'll see you when we get down there. So basically, in this game, it's what happens in the first 30 minutes. Your goal is to get some kind of sustainable cover or shield from storms.
First, if you want to complete missions for the UDA, you'll need to craft a short-range radio. Plenty of folks need help, and factions pay well for prospectors that offer their time. Up to you. Stay safe.
Right, so the first thing you want to do instantly is gather rocks, stones, sticks, fibre, anything on the ground basically that you can find. Because this is going to be your necessity to start up building stuff. like the pickaxe, the axe, and later you'll be getting into the overall tab. You can see there on the top left you have your experience and your levels. You want to get to the blueprint as quickly as possible, so leveling up is quite essential. So once you've got enough rocks, you can create a pickaxe, and that'll drop down into your number 1 slot. If you go into number 1 and then you go over to a rock, you can start harvesting. Just a little side note, be careful with your stamina, because if you completely run out, it takes longer for your stamina to start building up. So if I were you, I would just leave it a little tiny bit in the red and your stamina will regenerate faster. When you've got enough stone again, you can create an axe. That'll go into your little 2 slot, so you press number 2, and then you find a tree that's obviously being killed by this. You cut down some trees. So we're trying to level up as quick as possible before this sun goes down, so we can start building up a shelter. Shelter from the storms is a must, basically. If you don't have that, you will die very quickly. Right, so as you just saw, we leveled up, and it's time to look into the tech tree. So, basically, here is where you unlock stuff like the campfire, fire whacker, stone knife, stuff like that, and the bedroll. This is going to be essential for you. So first of all, I go for the campfire, then the bedroll. After that, I would go over to the building. It all depends on what your preference is. Thatch are easy to build, but they also take damage from the storms a lot quicker. So me personally, I would avoid this and go straight for the wood. This gives you everything that you need. Wood beams, wood floors, walls, roof, ramp, everything. For you to start building up a decent little house. I would also go for the stone knife. The reason I would go with a stone knife is because you can kill this stuff with it. And then you can skin it. If you just get the bow and arrow, or the bow, you cannot skin it to get the meat. See, this is an opportunity right now. This is a Tyrannosaurus. It's basically a messed up horse. And it will kick you a lot. But if you stay out of his way for so long, then you can attack him in the brain, which means you'll do a critical hit damage. And then with a knife, you can skin him, get some meat, get some fur. Normally get some fur, but this time we didn't, and get some bones for later. The simple fact is you're going to need fur, and the only way to get that is by skinning animals. And if you're still on level 1 by this point, then that's going to be difficult when you only have a bow and arrow, if you see what I mean. So that's why I went with a stone knife. Now when it comes to water, you want to try and find some sort of running water, because if you're doing it from the lake and you drink out of this, you have a chance to get like a bacterial infection, which means you do a lot of stuff in your pants, and it also affects your food. So now we've got some wood, we can start crafting up a few little pieces just to get us going. You need these supports. These supports are what keeps the building from falling over. So this gives you unlimited access. Just pop it down, and then once it does that, it will snap to the next available part. So if you pop it there, it will snap. Same with this. You don't need to actually have them too close together. I normally put them 2 apart. So once you've done that and got rid of some of these out of the way, so you can actually see what you're doing. And the way you can get food is by just going around and picking up berries. You can also pick up pumpkins, melons. You can pick up fish out of the lakes and stuff. But just be careful when you're in the lakes, because there is fish in there that can poison you. So let's deploy these. Let's pop these down here. Then we've got the walls. With this you can just put them down like that, or you can hold R and you can choose from windows, doors, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to put a door here. A window there, sorry. I'm going to put a window here. I'm also going to put a door frame here. And then the rest are just going to be normal walls. Right then. So the next one would be the roof. So you can hold it again and click on this if you like. This can be a bit tricky to place down sometimes, but just keep at it and it'll do it. I forgot to make 2 of these actually. So I'll make 2 of them. While I'm waiting for them, I'll put the door in. The door is in, and this is basically almost a shelter. With this, you can hold R again and choose this. This will give you end caps when it wants to. What's going on? There it is. There's that one done. And then we just need a little bit of stone to get a fireplace going. Now, as you can see in the top left corner, I have hit level 2. And, as always, there is a weather event coming. Once you jump over that bit and close the door, you can now put down this campfire. Throw a little bit of wood in there, and throw your meat in. That'll cook your meat for you. But as you can tell, there is rain coming in. It's not a big thing, but it can damage your house as well. So I would get the hammer, I would get the bow and arrow, and I would also get stone arrows. The fire whacker can wait. It's not going to be a massive storm, so it's not going to be a flash storm, should I say, so that's going to be a lot easier to deal with. These things are oxide, and if you put these from your inventory into here, it will fill up your oxygen, so you know your oxygen's not going to run out anytime soon. These are mining deposits. We'll get into them at another point. Just be careful when opening doors around fires. They will put them out in the storm. Yeah, there we go. Right now, I am going to craft a bow. And arrows, we can make 39. This will give you plenty of stuff and things to kill animals, basically. Right here we have a baby deer and a deer. So if you aim at it and crouch at the same time, you'll get a 2.5 times stealth attack, which most of the time kills it dead. Now we get some fur, and we got our arrow back. If you can't break the bones with a knife, just use a pickaxe. Gonna need some more stones, so we can repair the knife. Just right click and then click repair. Very simple, very easy. That was the sound of trees falling. Trust me, you do not want one of them to fall on your head. It hurts a lot. This is finished cooking anyway, so that's fine. But we can consume this. And throw all this back in here. Now that's cooking again. Right here is a oxide node. If you mine this, it gives you plenty of oxide. It also gives you quite a decent amount of XP too. If you want to level up quick, this is the kind of thing you want to be mining. There's oxide, sulfur, there's sometimes iron around, there's coal, and that'll get your levels up very quickly. One more quick thing I think you should know. If you eat 3 different types of meals, then it will give you an extra buff at the bottom. So it gives you a boost from berries, it gives you raw food, and it also gives you stamina and health regen. But it also gives you more health, more stamina. Right, now we have enough to craft a bedroll. Pop it down like that, and then you hold F to set your spawn. Because if you don't set your spawn, you'll end up coming down in another pod, which is quite annoying and quite time consuming. So yeah, you better off doing your spawn before you die. Next we're going to talk about the talents. The talents here are obviously personal. It depends on how you want to play the game, I suppose. But as a suggestion, I would say dense packing is probably going to be the best part. Mining stone, that gives you more stone from mining, obviously. Yield from foraging, falling trees. There's combat, where you can put more stuff and things into your bow and arrows and stuff like that, or spears, whichever kind of stuff and things you're using, like the knife. There's also this solo tree. I think this is only... So there's also the solo tree, which means that these... There's also the solo tree, which means that these talents can only be used in playing solo. They are very useful in that fact. They do have a lone wolf where you gain more XP when you're not in a party. So if you go into adventure and into exploration, it has one here too. So it shares experience with the person you're playing with. So the solo talents are really good as well. You can get more health, you get more melee damage, you can get movement speed, more stamina. Basically the solo tree is quite helpful, but then again so the normal talent tree. The solo just helps you a little bit more because you're on your own. But there's all sorts of stuff and things you can do in here, like repairing tools, building, adventure. So you can do stuff for fishing, if you're into fishing. Husbandry, so you can basically effectively tame animals better. Exploration, so you can move quicker, you're better during storms, you have more health. Survival, you have your resources, hunting, cooking, farming, stuff like that. There is a talent here that... there it is. Fresh is best, where your plant crops will not wither once they've grown. If you are planting before you get this, then you have to keep an eye on your plants, otherwise they will wither. So, as you can see from this, by level 2 you should have basically a decent amount of progress done already. Yeah, you're not exactly going to be unstoppable, but the fact is you've got your shelter built, you've got food production, you can drink water, you've got your oxygen, and then you can just go out and play the rest of the game as you want. Especially when it comes to talents, because once you follow a certain line through the talents, it's basically you can create multiple characters for one scenario. You don't have to stick with one character, but you can also go back and change the talents later on in the game once you get to a certain point. As you can see over here, you have 30 respec points, which you can also buy more. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be in the talents. You can also do that in the solo talents as well, so you have the points there available as well. Map, basically, you won't see all this. You will basically see where you have explored, like around here. So this right here is because I've already explored most of this map. It's quite a big map, quite detailed, can be difficult to travel sometimes. And these are the accolades. Obviously I have this one because I've already done it on my main. But there's loads of things you can do on here. And yes, I have been struck by lightning, and it was painful. It hurt a lot. Right, that is going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, please let me know down below in the comments what you'd like to see next. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.